Welcome everybody to another episode of the No Recipe Podcast. My name's Kyle, the homie.
My name is Zaf, the guy.
And we're not a cooking podcast. What we are, whether it's a career, success, or life in general, there's no recipe to it. And those are the type of discussions that we're going to have. And those are the type of guests we're going to have. Just have nice conversation. And for this week, we have another special guest. Another homie of mine that I've known since we were kids, like 10, 11 years old.
Dang.
Yeah, man.
It's a long time.
Please welcome everybody to the podcast, Jay.
Hey.
Jay.
Yo, what's up, man? Yo, how you been, bro?
I'm good, man. How about you guys?
Good, man.
Man, my glasses are fogging up, man. That's
Oh, yeah. If you guys don't know, we have to wear a mask. That's why in these videos you see us, we got to wear a mask. In the studio, we're going to call it the 305 studio.
Yeah.
305?
Yeah, it's mandatory that we got to wear a mask. So so if you can see it on that camera over there, his glasses are going to be fogging up, but that's okay. That's okay. But with Jay, again, I've known this guy since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We grew up together, much like our episode last week with Sherwin.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing him since he was a kid, we grew up together. And I've seen this guy grow on his journey, and he's seen me too, and Sherwin. Like, we all grew up together. So I'm glad to have you on the show, bro.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. So I don't know, man, to get things started, like in terms of like who you are, like tell us who you are, man. Like what are you into? Like what do you do, bro?
Like, what am I into?
Yeah, man.
Like my history, everything?
History, whatever your passion is, like, yeah, man. Your hobbies, your side gigs, whatever, bro.
Sure, man. Well, my name is actually Florentino Reyes Sangbaan the third, but as you guys know, my name is Jay or JR. The third. That's third generations, man. 3 generations, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. For me, like, I'm like, I came here when I was like 5 years old from the Philippines. Yeah. So came from the Philippines, Baguio City, and then immigrated here in 1995. Yeah. So I pretty much told you my age now. Yeah, man. And then I just went through the whole process, the whole timeline of my life. So, you know, I went to school, went to school with Kyle throughout middle school, high school, and then, you know, we went to college and all that stuff. Yeah, I don't know what else to talk about from there, but yeah, I'm a nurse. I'm passionate about photography. I do pretty much a lot of gigs, but not right now because of what's going on. But
Absolutely.
yeah, that's it. Basically.
Yo, how did you get started, man, in photography? Just because all of a sudden one day, remember Tumblr?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you just started posting pictures of like you and like these rose petals on your piano. Yeah. And I'm just like, what the heck? This guy does photography now? It just came out of nowhere. So I just wanted to know how that started for you, man.
Honestly, man, it's when I see a photo, like when a photo of me, I always see, like, man, no one can take a good photo of me. Maybe I could learn.
I feel that way too.
Right?
No one can take a good photo of me.
Maybe I could learn to take a photo to make that person feel not what I felt. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I took courses and see how to pose, and it's not about posing. It's actually a lot of with it directing. You know, a lot of people don't know how to use their hands properly and all that stuff. So, you know, like, that's where I really got into. Like, I just want to take a photo of myself, so then they could feel like, you know,
not the same way you felt.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But that's a great way to, like, you know, that ties it into you, how it related to you. But
that's right.
So for your photography, like, of course, your everyday job, you're a nurse. How did your photography journey begin? Like, of course, you know, you had that feeling that every single photo of me, it's not how I want it to look, and I never want someone to feel that way.
Yeah.
And so, but how did the beginnings of that kind of start?
Well, honestly, I was working at Best Buy. Actually, it was right after college. There was like a lot of complications with my nursing diploma. I graduated from the States, so there's a lot of conflict from getting it assessed here. So I went from like just some sales jobs, and I hit up Best Buy. I can say Best Buy, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Best Buy.
Shout out to Best Buy.
Shout out Best Buy.
That's why I started too. That's the start of my sales career too. Best Buy, man. We're Best Buy trained.
Yeah, man. Best Buy is actually very good at training, man. Like, man, that's a different story.
It's rigorous, but yeah, that's a different story.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So then I basically I went to DI. It was digital imaging. There's a lot of photography, and then I met this guy named Zyron Paul. Man, this guy's amazing. Like he's just so passionate about photography. And then I'm like, hey man, what camera should I get? And he's like, whatever camera you're going to be using it's the best camera you could actually take. You know, he's very deep about that stuff. But what bounds down is I bought a camera, and he took me under his wing.
Yeah.
And then from day one, he was just always mentoring me and telling me what to do. You know, what settings are, the why aspect of photography. You know, it's a lot of people just take photos and like, oh, this looks nice, but there's always a why aspect in everything. It could be nursing, it could be photography, but in photography, yeah, it's very important why you're doing things, understanding light and all that stuff. So he took me under his wing, and throughout that journey, I carried photography. And then when I got to my nursing and when I got into assess, I was still doing photography, man. I was so passionate about it. It didn't feel like work to me, you know what I mean? Like there was times where I work a night shift, like nights, and then right after that, the morning I got from my night shift, I would just go straight to my client for a wedding, but I loved it, man, like that feeling, bro, like it's different, so yeah, I just, that's how it project. And then I just kind of learned his ways, and I kind of incorporate my personality too, and then that's where it is.
And that's how it is.
Yeah. So like right now we're working together. We're doing weddings and events together. So yeah.
So what did you think? Like what did he say about the very first photo that you ever showed him? You're like, yo, man, I took this photo. Like, what do you think? Like, did he ever critique your photos?
Oh man, 100%, man. He was like, this is garbage.
Really, straight up, just like that.
Yeah,
this is garbage.
This is garbage. Like I love it when he like, yo, let's have a meeting. So he would we go to the nearest Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
And then, because every time we take a photo, like I'm mostly more on the groom side, and then I take, I do more of the second shooting. But in the groom side, I'm fully responsible. I'm fully responsible of the posing, lighting, every single thing. I'm directing the whole thing.
Because he's not there.
Yeah, he's not there, and the fact that it's. Majority of weddings, it's their first time, so they need someone to direct.
So you got into wedding photography with him. Just a little bit of background. His mentor is like a wedding photographer. That's how he started his business. Okay.
Basically, man, he would just sit down and be like, this is garbage, this cord is on in the way, the lighting is too bright, like that's how I learned, and then that's how I progressed through my photography and everything, right? So it's very important to actually take that not too hard, but for a learning experience, right? Yeah. So we would just go through each photo and then tell me what I should do and what I shouldn't do, and what's important and what's not, So yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because last week we talked with Sherwin, and then we kind of mentioned like the importance of having like a mentor to guide you, and then imagine like starting something on your own. You could do all the research in the world that you could that you want to do, but then that, I don't know, like having a mentor, like it kind of changes things and it helps you grow and evolve,
Yeah.
Right?
100%. Like for example, like you could be reading about books, but it's different when you're actually in the field, man. Yeah. You feel it. It's a different experience, a different personal, different experiential hit. You're just like, you feel like you're actually experiencing it based on, I don't know. It's
just through experience.
Yeah, through experience. Yeah, it's different when you're reading about it, when someone's telling you about it. When you actually feel it, and you do it, that's when it sticks, right? And like in nursing, like I could read about books, the social aspect, the science aspect, but when you actually know the social aspect and you apply it, it's a different story.
Completely different.
Different story, man. Yeah, it's you have to have that balance, man. It's like people are so keen on to the science aspect of stuff, like photography settings, photography equipment, photography this. like, the most expensive things. But the most important, I think, is the social aspect.
The human aspect.
Yeah, social, human. It's between the photographer and the person too, right? Like you can have an iPhone. Like there's photographers out there that actually use an iPhone 4 to do a wedding, and then they show their clients, and then, how do you like this photo? And you're like, man, that's amazing.
It's amazing.
And then there's like, guess what? That photo was shot on an iPhone 4 and it won an award.
Wow.
Like, people don't understand this, man. It's so important to learn that art, and people are just so keen on to something else. So that's not really, matters, but it does matter. It's like 50%. And then the other aspect is either 50 or even more.
Yeah.
Of
the human touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what's crazy. A lot of people think when you get into photography or even videography, you're like, I need the best equipment.
Yeah.
I need the craziest, I need this gimbal. I need this crazy lens.
True, man.
But then at the end of the day, you could be rich and afford all these things, but your photos will turn out whack.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's exactly, bro. Like, there's nothing wrong with nice equipment, but learning the foundation of it and understanding why you're using that equipment, then I guess I know it, you deserve that. You deserve that nice equipment, right? But some people just automatically, hey, let's get the nicest camera, and that's it, and don't really they just dwell in that aspect. They don't want to learn anything else after that.
So what camera did you start with? When you asked him, like, hey, what camera should I get? He said, yo, whatever camera you need to get. But like, what did you actually start with as a cameraman?
It was a Canon Rebel T2i. Yeah.
I don't know cameras. Is that entry level?
It was an entry level. Like, it would overheat. It would just produce not the best photos, but it's something that for me to put my hands on and understand how to use a camera.
Yeah.
And then from there, I just went through like different kind of brands, and like I stuck to one brand that I like now. So
what is that brand?
Sony.
Shout out
Yo,
to Sony.
Sony's popping right now. A lot of people are jumping on Sony, man.
Yeah.
Sony's crazy in the camera game right now.
Yeah, mirrorless, man. Because the thing is, like, when I was touching base earlier with the social aspect, right?
Yep.
Like, a mirrorless, like, when you have the old school cameras, you would have to kind of assess the whole background and be like, hey, or the lighting, and you'd be like, hey, I'm going to use this setting, and you take a shot, and you have to look at your screen. But with a mirrorless camera, with Sony, it kind of eliminates that. You basically see what you see in your camera lens.
That's the image you're taking.
Exactly. So then that means you have more time with your clients. So you can focus more on what really matters, which is the social aspect. So you can direct, you can have a conversation with your clients. You could, you could just be that human instead of that photographer. Because when you put a camera into a person, it becomes a camera. When we put it down, it becomes a person. Yeah. So what I usually do is like, hey man, do this and do that and do that, and then put it down, and then, hey man, that's really good.
Yeah.
But you have that conversation, that personal touch. But some people just keep shooting and shooting. Oh man, I don't like that. But if you keep shooting, oh, that looks good, man, that's good. But you just have that flow, and that's why I have Sony.
Just for the mirrorless.
The mirrorless, yeah, the mirrorless. There's a lot of more mirrorless, but Sony is just
That's your thing.
That's my thing.
And for me, like, I know you guys had known each other for a long time, but my experience with Jay is through Kyle. I met him through work, and there's very few people in my life that I look up to with regards to work. And Jay is by far probably one of the hardest working people I've ever come across. So for me, watching you progress through life and watching you achieve certain things, I always celebrate those things, because I know that, if Jay can do it, I can also work hard and achieve that for myself. So one thing, like, what is one of your motivators? What is something that keeps the fuel going? Because all throughout I've known you, you're juggling this, and this, and you always had time for all of those things. What is the motivator?
The motivator, what I would say is, like, I always wanted to change my family tree. That it's huge. Like, for when I came here, if you think about it, we're an immigrant family coming from the Philippines.
Yeah.
Right. So when I grew up, all I knew was my dad was working 2 jobs.
Yeah.
He was telling me, like, he would go from Monday to Friday from the day job, and he would run into the bus stop and get to his second job.
Yeah.
he did that from Monday to Friday, and then while he's doing that, he's also going through what is that, like, you know, like what's important, like grocery shopping, and you know, getting his license and stuff like that, you know, being that father, right? But what I didn't know when I was young, that he was trying to change his family tree too, so I could take over, you know, because without him I wouldn't be here. And then that drives you, man. Like I didn't want to waste that time, what he put into, even my mom as well too, my sister, and then they went through all of this this hardship just for us, or just for me and my sister. Like me and my sister are not well off, but we're in a position where we could financially be stable because of our parents. You know, like they changed our family tree, so we have the chance to carry that and change it as well too. And that drives me every time. You know, like I have a lot of mistakes, and they didn't know, and they didn't have the same upbringing as us as too. But that's what fueled me, man. Like honestly, just to change from family tree, like there was a lot of things that we had to go through, and not as much people had to go. Didn't have that privilege. You know what I mean? So, yeah,
I think that resonates with so many people. Like listening to this, so many people have gone through that, where you know, the family that you have, your parents, they do what they can to lay the foundations, and what is it that you can do to build on that. So for me, it's a beautiful thing seeing everything that you've done. So I just want to know. So I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, but man, when we were still working together, it was crazy. Like, can we talk about that or what?
What, like the way we hustled at work and stuff, or just like
hustle work?
Absolutely.
We can definitely talk about that.
For sure,
hell yeah,
man.
man.
Like, because you know, me and Kyle were full time in Portage Place, right?
Yes.
And Zaf, man, he would really push me, man. He would push me, be like, yo, I gotta make this much. And then I see how hardworking he was, and that fueled me too, man. What I would do, I would have this saying, 150 a day keeps Zaf away.
What he means 150 is like commission, because like we'd sell phones, we make money. So like $150 a day keeps Zaf away. You know?
So that's more money for me at the long run, because then our manager would be like, yo, Jay, man, get more hours at this store. Zaf, nah, it's whatever.
And the funniest thing, like speaking of that, I remember there was one day I was working. And it was the very first time I made more commission than Jay did. And to me, like, I didn't share that with anyone, but it was also like a huge motivator for me to just not only be able to compete, but also, you know, win it for that day. But I remember it was the first time that I had made more than Jay, and I took that away as being like a proud moment for myself, because same thing, it's great that, you know, people have something to chase, be it goals or other people. And in my case, like a lot of my early career and a lot of my early motivation was trying to keep up with this guy and not get blown out. So
because like what happened, like I got you in first, right? And then you like a little bit after, but like I don't know, every time they said they were hiring, I'm like, I know someone. I know someone that could be good at this. Because at that time, like we both, like me and Jay, we both worked at Best Buy, but at separate times. So I was in cell phones first at Best Buy, and then I got transferred over to the other job that we had, selling phones. And then Jay was there, and I'm just like, yo, Jay, man, like you work so hard, you sell all this stuff, man, you don't get paid commission because Best Buy, it doesn't pay commission. I'm like,
I mean, shout out to Best Buy.
I'm like,
shout out to
Best Buy,
but the training was really good. So I'm just like, yo, Jay, just come work for us and see how it is, right? And that's how that started. And then same thing with you, man. I remember our manager, Steven, is just like, hey, we're hiring again because we're going to open up another store. Like, who do you think would be good? And immediately I thought about this guy.
And
new level.
Keep in mind, I haven't talked to this guy in 2-3 years. I haven't seen him because like normally he'd be at church, like with us, right? Me and my cousins, but I haven't seen this guy in a minute. But for some reason, like I know he'd be good at this job. And I'm like, yo, interview this guy. Then that's how I got him in too, man. Yeah.
And then this is where we are today.
Yeah.
Man,
Little
it's really
backstory.
cool how that works out.
Yeah.
It really is
Yeah,
cool
it's
how
crazy.
it works out. And
It all connects, eh?
I think that's also testament to, like, last week Sharon had talked about and touched on the 5 people that you spend your time with really shape not only you, but also can even influence like your net worth.
Yeah.
And so by being around, like in my case, being around people that were highly motivated, being around people that were extremely hardworking, you naturally get instilled with that energy and you take it upon yourself to keep up with those people.
For sure, man. I actually want to touch a base on that. Like I spoke to Sharon because Sharon's actually very good with that kind of stuff, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
And then I asked him like, hey man, who do I look up to? Like who else? Like, you know, because I was so driven to this goal I had, right? To change my family tree and what I had to do. So like, he's like, man, the people you listen to, the people you read about, the books you read, those are your 5 people too.
Yep.
That's
exactly what he had said last week.
Yeah, man. Like it's crazy. I'm like, yeah.
And when he mentioned that, it also that set off like a light bulb in my life. Because of course, you know, your environment influences you.
Yeah.
But you know, that really resonated with me, that even the people that you expose yourself to, not like in the physical, but like through YouTube and everything else, that can be the 5th person.
Yeah, so, man. Yeah, it's crazy. Like if you think about it, like we have 3 bodies, right? We have our physical skin.
Yep.
It's basically your skin, your face, what we see.
Yeah.
And then there's our mind is too, right? So when we move left, right, that's another body. What the 3rd body is very important. That people don't really understand is your subconscious. So your subconscious, for example, like what you feed your subconscious, what's you're going to be defines you within 5-10 years. So if you think about it, like there is a ship, right? There's a ship. The physical body is the boat.
Yeah.
And then the captain is your mind.
Yeah.
But your subconscious is the guy who rows all the time, right?
Yeah.
So the captain is to sleep, man, right? The captain is to sleep. But what you feed the captain is going to say, hey, let's do it this or let's do that. But your subconscious will never stop sleeping. Yeah. So it's the same thing when you work with people or who you surround yourself with people. If you surround your people with people who are going to be toxic, your captain is going to direct you to that, and your subconscious will keep driving that. Even though you're sleeping, it's going to do that. It's like that's why they don't want you to go to bed mad with someone or something like that, right? Because your subconscious is still working, and that's a huge thing. And when he touched base on that, it just clicked, right? So having that 5 people around you, it's not just something that we just talk about. It's something that it's a lifestyle.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Extremely powerful, guys.
Yeah.
For you, Jay, who are some of the people that you like read up on, or like even on YouTube? Like who do you kind of try to like consume their content?
Oh, for me, it's pretty easy. I think Kyle knows about this, but for me, like it's like Dave Ramsey's. I don't know if you know about Dave Ramsey. Man, he's like he changed my perspective in like personal finance. He molded, like I wake up in the morning, I listen to him. I go drive my car, I listen to him.
Yep.
Every single thing that he taught, it's insane. It's the reason why I listen to him is because of what his source is. You know, it's gonna sound not very traditional, but his source is biblical principles.
Yep.
And he's incorporating in his teachings, because in the Bible it actually has 2,000 of sayings of how to handle money.
I didn't know that.
That's insane, right? I didn't know that either. So I actually looked up and stuff. Like it's insane how the Bible is just like a kind of a cheat sheet on how to develop you as a person, not as a perfect person, but a progressing person. You know, it's just like that person, Dave Ramsey, the way he molded me, and you know, I allowed him in my subconscious, and and the way I live. It's based on his teachings or based on what he understands or interprets the scripture and stuff.
That's crazy. So he's the one that's rowing the boat for you. That's what you're saying. He's in your subconscious right now.
Well, the thing is, there's the captain, which is my head.
Yeah.
Which is me.
Yeah,
So I always say that was me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
My skin, right? And then the subconscious is another body, but I believe he's more telling me what to do.
Yep.
And he's feeding my mind. So then I could tell what my subconscious should be doing and what he should be focusing on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's powerful stuff, man. Like people don't understand that subconscious it'll never stop. Like if you go medical, like for nursing a little bit, okay, let's gonna go off topic a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. So if you get cut, right, that's your skin.
Yeah.
Right. Your mind was like, oh man, that hurts, but your subconscious, it's gonna heal, man.
It's right? telling your body to repair itself.
Yeah, it's never stopping, man. People don't understand this. It's never stopping. So what you feed your mind, it's extremely important. And surrounding that person that really, that those 5 people, it's vital, man. It's for me, it's life and death, man. Honestly, yeah.
Other than Dave, is there anyone else that you kind of like resonate towards, or anyone else that you kind of listen to?
I'm not sure, man. Like, not really. Yeah.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
I just browse like normal stuff, but like right now I'm still trying to attach those 5 people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say like family and stuff, but for me, right now in my part of my life, the financial journey I'm going through, it's a lot of it through Dave. Like there's Dave. There's also a lot of his acquaintances as well too. Like Rachel Cruz is basically his daughter. Mm-hmm. I listen to her a lot too. Like stuff like that. Like I just want to fill my mind, so then subconscious will take over as well too. So
absolutely,
yeah, man.
Super cool, man. Super cool. For your I guess going back to photography.
Yeah.
What were some of your early struggles with that? Because who you are today is definitely not the same person that you were 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And there's a complete different level of experience between those 2 people. And so that person 5 years ago, what were the struggles that they were facing?
I touched base on it a little bit earlier, but it was honestly the directing aspect.
Yeah.
Like I knew what settings to use. I knew where to shoot and what a good photo will look like. But directing is a different beast, man. It's it's honestly learning how to take a photo without the camera. Imagine that, right? You go around, you have to direct, you have to mandate, you have to prioritize. It's a different field that photographies don't really teach on. So that's huge. Like going as a young entrepreneur, going to like an actual setting with clients, they're also having it in the first time as well. Not knowing where to go, not knowing what to shoot. It's difficult. I think that's honestly the hardest thing.
How was that transition going from, hey, you know what? I'm taking photos. I'm posting on my Tumblr. I'm taking photos and showing my friends.
Yeah.
How was that transition from doing it as your hobby and actually going out, finding a client and saying, hey, I'll take photos for your wedding?
Like the transition?
Yeah. And how did that what was the journey for that?
The thing is, for me, like me and my queen is like my with Paul, we kind of work together. So it's just, he's more towards the client aspect. Yeah. So I kind of just like hop in there and see what it is. But yeah, it's not really a huge transition because I kind of grew with him, and he grew more towards the clients and what dates it is, and then I grew more with him in that. So
actually, like, how did that happen? Like you mentored under him. Like, did you ask him, or did he kind of offer like, hey, like I see that you're kind of interested in photography, you gotta have a camera, like did you want to mentor under me, or how did that fan out?
I honestly just asked him, man, teach me.
Yeah.
And then I think that's so important, to take initiative in anything you want to do, right? Some people a lot of people complain about, hey man, I don't have this, I don't have that, but the moment that we say I want something or I want to do it, that's so powerful. Hey, so like, yeah, I just told him, hey man, I want to learn photography, can you teach me? So he liked a lot of like concerts, right? I'm not a big fan of concerts, but I wanted to learn so badly. So I would go to like one of his concerts, like that he shot for a band that he shot for, and then that's it. Like I just went with him. He told me like what the shutter, what aperture does, what ISO does, right? So just asking and taking that initiative. I think that's a huge start of where your direction of life is going to flow, right?
Did you ever think, if you asked him, like, did you ever think, what if he says no, or like would he say no, or you just like asked him?
Like, what do you mean?
No, like at the point where you wanted to mentor under him, like when you were thinking about asking him, were you ever thinking about like, what if he says no, or like,
if he says no, I'll make him say yes.
That's the salesman in Jay.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Because like I think in terms of like when people ask someone to help them, like they always think the mentor is too busy or like they'll have no time for them.
Yeah.
But what people don't realize, I think, is like a mentor is just like, hey, this guy asked me to mentor him, and that's something serious. Because like who am I to them right now? You know, like how do they perceive me? How do they see me?
Yeah.
So I feel like when people are kind of scared to ask for help and like mentorship, people don't realize the person that you're asking may want to, like they actually may genuinely want to help you and guide you, because you see them in a different way.
It's like more of a respect, right? Like I do that in nursing all the time. Like I ask all these senior nurses how to do something, or what's your view of things, because they view things, if they've been nurses for like 20 years, 30 years in some of them, right? Like I've been nursing for about 2 years. Like they know more than me, obviously.
Experience.
Yeah. So like, I love it when you say you portray them with respect, and then it's like you love their work.
Yeah.
You know, they feel good about that. Hey man, how can I be like you? You know, like what did you do to get to that position, right? So it's like more of an honor, man.
Oh yeah.
You know, mentoring someone, or asking for mentorship, right?
So how long have you been mentoring under him now? Like almost, like Best Buy Days was like what, 2013? Like
2013,
right?
2012. Yeah, man.
That's a long. Yeah. Wow. Okay, I didn't even realize.
Yeah. We still have those meetings, man. It's not as bad as anymore.
He's not as harsh. He kind of like recognizes your work now, or
what?
He's
like, oh, I like this. It's good. Good job. What did you use? And he's asking me, what did I use? What should we do now? And what do you think? It's more like, hey,
so the conversation has really changed.
Yeah, it's
100%. 100%. There are times like, man, the way we want to do photography anymore, like it's pretty harsh when he says, oh, I don't like this, or he would. His philosophy in photography is like less is more.
Yeah.
So like before I would do shutter happy.
Powerful.
Yeah. Like I would shoot like crazy, man. I would have like 2,000 photos for him, and he would have to edit those.
Yeah.
And I would have to take a look at them like, man, this is a lot of same photos.
Yeah. Just sifting through.
Yeah.
To find what actually
exactly the same photo 10 times. Right. So like it's insane, man. Like, yeah.
Man, the big takeaway from this, I think, is, and I know, we had touched on it last week with Sherwin, but whatever it is that, you guys are putting your mind to, as long as you have determination and you set your mind to do something, I feel like you should dive all in. Yeah. And in your case, you weren't afraid of the no.
Yeah.
When you're gonna seek out mentorship, but you did know that there was someone here that would be able to provide a lot of value in what you're trying to do, and you seeked it out. So
I actually want to touch base on like the nursing aspect too, man. Like I graduated a while back. I came. That's why I met you. I went to Best Buy. I went to meet you, work with you guys, right?
Yeah.
But during that journey, man, like it's insane. Like, where was I going to? I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, as much as like, or as far as whatever you kind of set your mind to, just to pursue it.
Yeah, exactly. So like when I was in nursing, like it took me a while, right? So then I had to go to a lot of sales jobs outside of my my field, right? So like I kept saying to myself, like people are telling me, man, just forget nursing, who cares? Like that actually fueled me to do it more. Like I would study until they say, here's your assessment, because they have to go through a lot of paperwork. I have to get approval from my college to send up my paperwork here so it can be assessed in Manitoba. So it was honestly like, man, and people are saying, man, don't worry about it. Just do sales and stuff, or do something else. But no, man, like I have generational nurses in my family, bro. Like it's in my blood. Like I wanted to carry that as well too. And I always wanted to be a nurse too. And I just, like you said, I just didn't want the no. I said, I want to keep going. And I believed we do it all the time. The subconscious mind, we do it all the time, but we just don't know how to activate it. And at the young age, I knew how to activate it. And then I kept driving, even though it's telling me no, I'm saying yes. And then at the 2 or 3 years ago, I got my nursing license and I got to work. I'm like, man, good thing I didn't give up.
Yeah.
And if I did,
yeah,
I wouldn't be here talking about it, man. Like,
yeah, that's true. Cause like I remember right when we graduated high school, you didn't go into nursing the first time. You did what was it, civil engineering?
Civil engineering. Yeah.
I
didn't even like math,
at Red River, Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, see, like it's insane. I didn't know what I wanted, Ben, but but you know, I had that conversation with my parents, like, you know, what should I do? Like, I don't know, be a nurse.
Like when you were younger, like you said, you're able to drive your subconscious, and you were able to do that at a young age.
Yeah.
How did you tune into that? And how did you, like, first of all, how did you tune into that? And of course we see how it worked out for you, but how did you plug in?
Well, the thing is, if you think about it, we all do it.
Yep.
Like, I love sports. Yep. I love volleyball, I love basketball. And every time you practice something, where did you get that knowledge from? But you want to from practice. Yep. So now you tell your mind, hey, let's do this, and you keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, and you get better. It becomes natural. Yeah. You can do it in your sleep. That's why these athletes are like, man, I can do it in my sleep. I can shoot with my eyes closed, right? That's just subconscious, man. Because they shot it so many times. Yeah. So when I didn't realize this at that young of age, but when I got more in my 20s, I realized that was my subconscious, and that's when it clicked. So when in my late 20s, I was like, man, I know how to use it. Yeah. I know how to drive it. Yeah. I know how to drive that force where it's unstoppable, man. But it could be it could be a blessing or it could be a curse too. Because you know, whatever you feed your mind, that's what you're gonna gravitate to. Yeah. As you can see, right? So where if we use it in the good, you know, we can really change our lives, man. Yeah. Right? So it just depends where your source is and how to use it. It's a different level.
Powerful stuff, man. Powerful stuff.
Yeah.
So like, even like, cause you like we bounce kind of back and forth between his like his photography thing, and his nursing thing, and you've been doing both for a while. Yeah. And then you started at the beginning. You were kind of new. You didn't really know what you're doing. Same with nursing. So there's always a point where you kind of come to a realization where, man, like I'm good at what I do now, you know? Yeah. So like whether it's photography or your nursing, man, like at what point did you realize I'm good at what I do? Because not a lot of people think about that kind of thing where they kind of come to the realization like I'm good at this. So when was that point for you?
I don't think like we're good. It's okay to feel like we're good at something. But I think it's more important that we strive to be better every time. You know, like it's
I like that.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's because it's like if you keep saying it's good, we're gonna be stagnant. You know, life is never stagnant. Yeah. You know, we're getting old right now. Like our bodies are rotting at this moment, right? Yeah. But you know, like if we tell ourselves like we need to get better, because our minds will never get old. Your subconscious will never get old, but your skin will, and your skin will get wrinkled. The skin has a lot of desires, man, a lot of lust, right? We can't trust that. So, you know, what we can do is that we can actually just, you know, grow. And that's something that's always going to be progressing, where your earthly suit will always go down. And that's where I kind of focus on. Like, I occasionally say, man, I'm doing good, just to, you know, give me some words of affirmation, right? Like, yeah, man, I'm doing good. I'm progressing. I'm never going to say like, that's it. I always want to progress something. Like after I'm done a goal, I'll be like, hey, what's the next one? And that's another way that could drive me to where I want to be in life, right?
Growth mindset, guys. Yeah. As long as you have a growth mindset and continually strive for the next thing, that alone will be the mover in your life.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's powerful stuff, yo.
What are do you use words of affirmation in your life often? Is that something, is it ritualistic, or how do you approach affirmations in general?
It's actually pretty funny, man. I read this book. I don't know if 5 Languages of Love.
Yep.
Yeah. So like
5 love languages.
5 love languages, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I did the quiz. I did the quiz online.
What was yours?
Oh, mine. I'm very quality time.
Cool.
That's my love language. Yeah. Quality time's the most. There's some other stuff, but that's my main one.
Yeah. That's sick.
Mine is it's funny. Mine is acts of service
Nice.
and also quality time.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
See, for me, man, there's actually words of affirmation. And I did not know that. Like I always thought it was like touch or time. Time is a big
important.
thing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when I went through my journey, I felt like I was not alone in my journey.
Yeah.
But where I just didn't have someone physically. So when I really I really unlocked the subconscious in my mind and say like, hey, I am enough. I can do this. I can. And then I feel like I'm pouring love into me, man. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like I would say I would use that occasionally if that's your question. Yeah.
Just words of affirmation to drive what you're doing.
Yeah.
Specifically for love languages, what's your second one? I know. I'm pretty sure it's like everyone has two.
Yeah.
So what's your second one?
It's time for sure.
Time.
Yeah, man. Time's good.
Yeah. For any relationship, you have to invest time. Not only romantic relationship, your partner, but also relationships and other people.
Yeah.
As long as you can, and for everyone who hasn't, like read the 5 love languages, like I would highly recommend it, man.
Yeah, it'll help you a lot in your relationship with like your significant other for sure. The way
not just also in other people. If you can understand what their love language is, you can really like tune into that, and you'd have an enriched relationship with them. So.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like with my girl, I'd be like, hey, how's it going? You giving her some word of affirmation, but that's not love to her, man.
Yeah.
But when I pick her up, I throw the garbage out, I do the dishes. Oh, thank you.
Acts of service, baby. Acts of service.
Right. And then you're like, oh, okay, this actually works.
Yeah.
But and then she'd be like, oh, you're so good. Thank you so much. I'm like, oh yeah, I know. Right? Words, man. It's just like
it's crazy.
Yeah. It's like
you can take whatever you want from this conversation, but look up the five love languages,
or at least do the quiz, find out who you are, and then make your significant other do the quiz too, and find out who both of you kind of just give it a try and see what happens.
Yeah, but what's really important though, like have the 5 languages, right?
Yeah.
But what's really important, it's like how you have say you have a cup.
Yep.
And yours is what? Yours is service.
Quality time, and probably acts of service is my second one.
And yours is service.
Mine is
right?
acts of service, and then quality time.
Yeah,
as well.
But a lot of people forget too. Like they're too reliant on their partner, and too reliant on someone else's to get them happy.
Yeah.
So like for example, for me, like, oh yeah, you like time, right? I mean service, right? So I'm gonna give you service.
Yeah.
But if I stop doing that, what's gonna happen, man?
Yeah. Will I feel dejected?
Yeah, you probably will, man.
Yeah.
Right. But right?
Guys, you gotta love yourself first.
Oh man, Zach, you got it, man.
Yeah,
yes. You really gotta do. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to learn about myself now. Like I really need to do that for myself, because I always put myself down, like, and then it's not a good thing. So that's really important. I agree.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like when you said like affirmation, that clicked, because every time I feel like I'm behind my back, affirmation, like I am enough. I can do this. Like that's giving me self-love, and that self-love will fill other everybody's cup.
Yep.
Like you don't need their affirmation, you don't need their love all the time, because your cup is always full. It's too much, it's overfilling, you got to give it away.
Yeah.
Right. So that's how I see it too. So self-love, guys.
It goes a long way.
Yeah,
it goes a long way.
Yeah.
Other than like, what other if you're to share some other influential like books that have influenced you, what would they be?
Books,
not necessarily books, but also like other things. I know we spoke on Dave Ramsey, and just now we just brought up the 5 love languages. What's something else that you think would be powerful for other people to look into? Even
I think like in general, like personal finance, man. It's I read a lot of personal finance, and the reason why I do that is because when we were young, so like just follow me here, right? So when we're young, we're born, boy, girl, goes through the whole process of life. They go to school. Parents say go to university, go to college, get a good job, and now get married, get a house, buy a car, and that's it.
That's it. That's life.
That's life, right? And then basically you're equipped with this mentality that all you need is a good job, buy a house, buy a car, and that's what you need in life, right? But little did you know that there's another aspect of life, which is basically how to manage your life.
Yeah.
And I think that's equal. I'm not saying it's more than what it is, but I think it's equal or even more. Like here's a physical example. Like all of us, our society is saying, hey man, go to university, go to college, or go up the corporate ladder to get more income.
Yep.
More skill, better income.
Yep.
That's basic. That's a basic thing, right?
That's how society is built.
Yeah, this is how society is built, right? But when you have that income, let's just say you have 100K income, how do you manage that? No one knows because no one taught us. And then when that clicked to me, I'm like, man, they didn't teach us in school. They didn't teach me this at home. So what influenced me is like I wanted to learn that management aspect. And yeah, man, it's like those, like another book is like how to burn your mortgage. And that's another personal aspect, personal thing that I wanted to go over. And then so you know what I mean.
Actually, I want to touch upon this just because last week's episode, Sherwin mentioned an individual where he reached out to him like, hey, I'm in this thing. Can you help me get out of it?
Yeah.
And then it was his financial journey coming from like debt, credit card debt, car loan debt.
Yeah.
And then his journey from there until now. And what's funny, we didn't mention who it was, but it's actually Jay who's sitting in front of us today, man. Like that story that you guys heard last week from Sherwin, it was him. He's the guy. He's like, yo, tell everyone my story. He's the guy like in front of us today. So I really want to touch upon that just because most recently, man, like you and your girl, can we talk about this? Like
yeah,
you
for
and
sure, bro.
Yo, you and your girl, man, they just bought a new house, man. Like it's about to get built soon, like in July, right?
Yeah, man. It's crazy. Like the thing is, like when we where I touch base on like we finished college and that's it, right?
Yeah.
How do I manage that? But the thing is, like when we go through life, we're taught to use credit cards, MasterCards.
Yeah.
Right. So what else is there? Like what am I going to?
Well, I mean, like for what Sherwin kind of shared with us.
Yeah. What exactly did he share?
He gave us the gist that you were able to you guys kind of came up with a 5-year plan.
Yeah.
And Sherwin kind of gave the insight to be able to do the same contribution, but you guys cut the time in like half or something to be able to. And I think he shared the amount. It was like $35,000.
$35K. Like the thing is, like when we were going through this phase, like I've noticed that I worked so hard.
Yeah.
Worked like when I was at school, when I was going for my reassessment for nursing, I went to work for like 70 hours a week, and I would go to school.
Yep.
Right. And then when I realized that, man, I'm working so much, but I'm giving everything to Visa. I'm giving everything to MasterCard.
Yeah.
I'm giving everything to Acura.
Right.
Yeah. So you become a slave to that borrower, right? So like you wake up in the morning, you don't work for your family. How can you? Because for me, how I believe in things is that when you're a leader, your family, or just a leader in general, you're not a leader really. You're an actual servant. You're the biggest servant of all in that aspect, right? How can I serve my family? And how can you serve my kids? And how can you serve how can you serve yourself? Like you can't serve two masters, man. You can't serve MasterCard and serve your family at the same time.
Yes.
Right. So when I realized that, I'm like, if I'm going to give my hard-earned income to Visa, how am I going to fund my future?
Yeah.
Right. So imagine that, man. Like when I realized that I had to get out of debt. Like right now I'm debt free.
Yeah.
I'm cash flowing everything. Like it's a different feeling, man. Right. The moment I realized that, because the normal income will be like a normal car payment will be around like $500. So if you put that from age 30 to age 75, that's like in a growth mutual fund. That's about, what is that? Maybe around 5 million, man. So like knowing that a car payment actually cost you that much.
Yeah.
That's in the long run.
That's very powerful.
Because there's a car salesman told me, man, you're always going to have a car payment. And I'm like, why did that sound weird to me? Right? And I looked up and I actually realized, man, yeah, it is. It's normal. It's nothing wrong with that. That's normal. Everybody has that. But I just didn't want to go to that road. You know what I mean? That's why I wanted to get out of debt and cash flow. Everything.
And that's what's crazy, because you mentioned earlier about breaking the family tree.
Yeah.
Breaking the family tree.
Yeah.
So at this point, like, this is what you've done. Like, and this is what I've seen you do. Every time we meet up and you talk, I'm like, this is where I'm at now.
Yeah.
And you always give me an update. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like every single time. So like, I just want to say, yo, I'm very proud of this guy.
That's why.
Like growing up, man. Like it's crazy, man. Just to see the growth and the journey, it's wild to me.
Yeah. That's what I mean, guys. It's very powerful to find someone in your life that, you know, one is also a mentor in certain ways, but someone that you can look up to on a personal aspect. Yeah. So like, thanks, man. Yeah, thanks for killing the game, because, you know, through your successes and through your failures, other people can learn. Yeah. And us being someone close to you, we directly can learn that from you. So
thanks, bro.
Yeah, man. I learn everything all the time from these guys. Like, we have a group chat, me, Sherwin, Jay, Oliver, right?
Yeah.
And every time him and Sherwin go off, like, I won't say anything. I'll just read. And scroll. And these guys are like, yo, like, they can tell that I read it because it says that I read it. But
of course.
But I don't know. I just absorb it, take it in, and then see if I can apply it to myself. And man, like, it helps so much, to be honest.
Being able to soak game, that's a luxury in of itself.
Yeah.
So.
It's crazy because like society tells us to do something, right? But I just when I realized that something's a little bit wrong here.
Yeah.
You know, like it's what we believe in. Like, if we believe that the government's going to provide for us from, you know, like stimulus checks, increase minimum wage to $15 an hour.
Yeah.
If you believe that the government is going to fund your future, then that's where you're going to believe.
Yeah.
But for me, I could not comprehend that. I didn't want to I wanted to take action for my own financial peace, my own financial, my journey. And that's why I just didn't want to do the normal road, because there's nothing wrong with debt and like car loans, because everybody has them. Yeah. I choose not to do that anymore, because when I realized that, I paid my car right away. It's gone. Like, it's,
Can you you don't need to go into full detail, but can you like share some of the strategies that you had applied to eliminate that 35?
Sure, man.
35K for a lot, you know, everyone is at a different stage and everyone has a different level of debt.
Yeah.
And to me, 35 seems like it would be a looming amount. That's fairly large.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so how did you kind of approach it?
Well, the thing is, we need to realize that personal finance is 80% emotional and 20% head knowledge.
Okay, elaborate.
Okay, right here, right? So people think, yo, man, personal finance is all about math, right? Yeah. But it's not. It's not all about math, because when you buy something, let's just say a nice car, do you buy it because of math, or you buy it because it's your emotional
decision?
Yo, I want this. I'll look sick in this car. I'll get girls with this car. That kind of stuff,
legit,
right?
Like, oh man, they're gonna think I'm rich. Like, that's the thing. It's a 20% head knowledge and 80% emotional, right? So
guys, 80% emotional.
Yeah.
When it comes to finance, 20% of the actual mathematics.
Yeah. So if you put it, so let's just say you have 3 loans. So you have a credit card, and you have for, let's say, $2,000.
Yep.
And then you have a car loan for $10,000.
Yep.
And you have a student loan for, so it's say 2. Let's just say 2 for credit card, 5 for car, and 10 for student loan.
Yeah. So 17.
So okay. So what are you gonna do first?
And for me, credit card.
Credit card, why?
It's the highest interest.
Okay, Kyle, what do you think?
I was gonna say the same thing. Credit card. Highest interest.
Yeah, that's mathematical, right? But if you pay out the lowest first, what happens is that you feel like
credit card's lowest.
Yeah. Oh, you said highest interest.
But
did you mean credit card was the lowest amount, so you want to start with that?
Yeah,
that's what you mean. Okay, cool.
So we're on the right track, right?
Yeah,
good. So if you pay up the lowest first, it doesn't matter about the interest rate, but if you pay up the lowest first and you pay minimum the other ones, there's an emotional attachment. It's like, yo, I won.
You
won.
took care of this.
But if you do it in the other aspect, let's pay the 10 grand, man, I'm never going to pay this off.
It's never ending.
Yeah. So if you pay minimum payments, say the payment on the car and then the student loan, and you pay off your credit card right away, you won something.
Yeah.
And that's personal. That's 80%. So why would you do well in 20 when you have 80?
Yeah.
What's higher?
You get to enjoy that emotional victory.
Yeah. Now you can go out like, yo, man, I can get a drink for this. You know what I mean? So now say that what you were putting, let's just say you were putting like $1,000 a month for that. Now you put that into the next lowest, which is basically the car loan, and you win, and it's just like a snowball effect, and it gets bigger and bigger, and boom, it's gone.
So if you were to lay out the strategy that worked for you, you looked at your book and you saw that, hey, this is the lowest, this is the lowest, this is the lowest. Or this is the lowest, then it's this, then it's this. And you approached it taking out the lowest first, then working on the next one, then the next one, then the next one.
Yeah, man. So it's an emotional journey. People don't understand that. Like it's insane. Like people think it's math. It's a special skill because people don't understand that. They don't know how to approach it.
Yeah, a lot of people think I need an expert to help me. I need someone who's gone to school for this, some financial advisor, an accountant, whoever. Like I can't.
Sometimes you do.
Yeah. Sometimes you do, but a lot of the times, I don't know. You gotta kind of sit down, do research, maybe look out for help.
But if you think about it, you gotta know what their fruits are bearing too. So yes, they have a financial major, but they might be broke too, man. Like they might have a lot of loan. So if they're not applying it to their life, they're giving out bad advice as well, right? So if someone who applied something in their life is able to help someone else, that's more of a powerful thing. That's why I tell Sean all the time, man, tell my story. If you tell my story,
and he did.
Yeah, he did. Exactly. If you tell my story, man, people are going to do it too. And then I want that because I didn't have that when I was growing up. People just say, man, get into credit card debt, get a car loan, buy a house like this. Like when we bought our place, me and my girl, we were very, they're like, oh man, buying a house is so stressful. It was not stressful for me, but it was stressful and picking the colors. That was more stressful for me.
The colors?
Yeah, like we were like, man, you picked the color, and then we couldn't get the color that we wanted. And then she's like, oh, whatever. That's the only stressful part. But everything else, I read on, and then I put on my like what I believe in my principles, and I stuck to it. And that's what it's what it is, man.
And I think it's because, like, just going back, it wasn't an emotional decision making that purchase.
No,
it was because you understand that 80% of what we're buying is an emotional purchase. So for you, it was completely different because you eliminated the emotion and money attachment. And your only worry was, what color is my living room?
That's honestly, man. We were.
What color did you pick?
It was white.
Okay.
But honestly, the exterior, man, we couldn't get a certain color. And there was one night I'm like, man, I wanted that color. That was what I was stressing about. I wasn't stressing about anything about money. I think, like, man,
that's crazy.
I understood that. And I want people to have that experience, man. It's like, because a house shouldn't be a curse because people buy too much house. It should be a blessing, man. It's your home, bro. It could be whatever you're renting, whatever. But if you're buying too much home or too much rent, it becomes a curse. And I don't want that. And I want people to be like, hey, man, go home, can chill, get a drink. That's
have people over, like hosts. Like it's true, man. It's a very comforting feeling when you can have people over, or you can just have some time with you and your girl and whoever, or even like raise a family, start a family, that kind of stuff. Man.
That's so important, man.
So 80% of your purchases that you're making, if you really look at the expenses that are going out, look at them and see how many were actually a financial decision that you made, or how many of those were an emotional decision. Because just off that, if I'm just quickly reflecting on my purchases, a lot of them are driven by what's going to make me happy today, what's going to make me happy in this moment. But really, it's not a financially motivated purchase. It's more so trying to get that gratification.
And then just a word on that too, like money is not bad.
When
I grew up, my parents would say, man, don't be rich or don't do that because it's a root of evil. But the actual phrase is that is the love of money is the root of evil. So if you worship money and you're telling like money is what that will consume you, then that's different. But it's not bad. People are saying because money is a great slave but a horrible master. And then that's
powerful, man.
If you ever going to be like, hey, I'm going to keep this money. How are you going to be able to bless someone else? How are you going to bless your family? How are you going to bless your generation to come, right? If you love money. So, but there's nothing wrong with having money. People are saying that man, don't have money, it's the root of all evil. No.
I had listened to a podcast. I can't recall like who the guest was. He's an author out in Japan, but I'll link. We'll have a link of it. But he speaks on to have a lot of gratitude towards money and not to think of it as, what you're just saying, that money, there's always that saying, money is the root of all evil. But his approach is to, have a lot of gratitude to the money that's in your life. That way, if you respect something and appreciate it, you won't feel the opposite effects. Because I think for most people,
that's true.
The number one stress, number one fear in their lives is related to income, the lack of it. How am I going to get it? And, and if we're always framing our thoughts that way and, focus on the stresses of money, money really does become the root of all evil.
Yeah.
But if you're able to, switch your thinking of it and have gratitude towards your money and what it's able to enable you to do, I think that the whole notion of money being evil gets completely eliminated, and money can be empowering for people. So
100%. Like what I always tell people is to write out a budget.
Yeah.
Give every dollar an assignment. Right? You tell your because like I said, it's a horrible master but a great slave. When you tell your money to stay, it'll stay. When you tell it to go get you some sushi, it'll get you some sushi. It's honestly the best slave ever, man. But the moment that you
that's powerful, guys. That's really powerful.
The moment that you don't realize that, it will control your life. And that's what's going on in the society, and it's heartbreaking, man. Like the thing is, like everything is driven, like I don't know if I can say this, but like Visa and MasterCard, they put billions of dollars of advertising because they know how this could enslave people,
of course,
to them.
Yeah.
Right. So I just need people to understand that, like just to see my perspective and my view of things. But that's how I see it. Right.
How has your 9 to 5, we'll call that your 9 to 5, your nursing, and then everything after is going to be your photography. How has the your business, the photography, how has that aided in your journey with money? And did you always have photography and the outcomes of being successful in photography being, one of the motivators for income?
No, I actually, it wasn't more of income. It's more of, I just love doing it, man. Yeah. It's honestly, there's no income attached to it. I just love the fact that I could create something. I can create something beautiful where people can see something, but I can create it where I can see it. Like that's how I view things. Like, and that's why I see things differently in ways, because different lenses have different perspectives. So you got to respect that, right? So it didn't really aid my income, but it aid my perspective in life, right? So there's a lot of things that photography allowed me to put in my everyday life. As I would say, more towards that than my income alone.
And guys, I think that's also, this is our second week, but I think in weeks to come, I think that message will be heard over and over.
I agree. Like when you're passionate about something, it doesn't feel like work. I think that resonates with a lot of people that's going to come on, and it's going to be a common theme, I think, that we might be hearing, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're just closing up on our segment here. Before you go, man, like I know you just bought a house, like, and then you said your journey, like you're always thinking about like what's next, like when, like what's next. So like, what's your goals now, like maybe 3 years or 5 years from now? Like what are you gonna work on next, bro, on yourself?
On myself?
Yeah, or anything, man. Yeah.
Yourself, or your business.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah,
what
man.
what are your goals that you have for the next 1, 3, and 5 years?
1, 3, and 5.
Yeah.
Honestly, just to be a better person, not just for myself, but for my family, for my girl. She's actually an amazing person, man. Like, she's very understanding, and she is one of the reasons why I'm here right now. Like, we met in nursing as well too. So it's the way she thinks and the way she is driven is the way I would see myself as well too. So I want to do better and be the best person I can possibly be, not just for myself, but for her and for our future together. And, like, from there, we could do a lot of amazing things,
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Man, that's beautiful. Jay, how can our listeners, how can they connect with you? How can they see your work? And how can people connect with you?
Oh, you can just Instagram, I would say, JR Images. yeah. Just follow me there, and then link here, I guess.
And again, we're probably gonna post all the stuff on our blog that we're gonna put together. So we'll have all of that there as well. So
cool.
And Jay, thank you, man. Thank you for sharing your recipe with us. Thank you for sharing your journey. And guys, no matter what it is, how are you gonna start your journey today?
True.
Yeah. So my name's Kyle, the homie.
Guys, I'm Zaf, the guy.
Thanks so much for listening, and tune in again with us next week.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.